Hey everybody, this is Roy Kenny, and this is Favorite Game Friday. We're having a group of contributors with completely different tastes in gaming, talking about their favorite game in the category of the week. This week we're talking all about what is the first game you teach to someone that is brand new to board gaming. Is there a game that you love to be the one that you introduce somebody to the hobby with? Make sure to leave in the comments down below your first game that you teach people, and let's get to the contributors clips.
Hey, I'm Daniel. This is my brother Ryan from the Rolls in the Family YouTube channel. And the game that comes to mind for me when I'm teaching someone who's never played modern board games that I like to teach to them is Sushi Go Party. Really easy card drafting game. Everyone's playing simultaneously. It's got simple rules, and it's one that I think people who are outside of the modern board game world can really grasp onto the rules quickly, understand, and have a great time as a group. But Ryan, what's your choice?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Quacks of Quedlinburg. It's a game that I think for people who haven't played a lot of games really can show, like, you know, I didn't know modern board games could do that. I didn't know a board game could be like this. It has very exciting moments. And honestly, we just have a good track record with introducing this game to people. We have multiple instances of people who play it and they go out and buy it. It just has a very good group dynamic. We've had a lot of success with it. So that is my pick.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Dee Dee Joy from the Shopping Network, and I wanted to tell you about the latest, greatest way to become a world-class architect. It's Floor Plan. In Floor Plan, you get to learn everything you need to know to design amazing dream homes. You end up with a blueprint that looks something like this. This is a beautiful ranch bungalow. There's beautiful trees and a swimming pool, and there's a really small kitchen, and the dining room doesn't attach to the main house at all. Maybe this is a bad example, but you know what I mean. You get world-class blueprint drawings, and with that, you can build a career of your dreams and become a world-class architect and be renowned throughout the world. For only $39.99, this dream can become a reality for you.
Oh, hey everybody. Well, at first I was thinking, for a new gamer, do I go ahead and teach them the Tricarian Deluxe Edition with all the expansions? But then no, that's probably a little too simple, so not picking that one. And then I was thinking, well, every household in America and probably the world already has at least 2 copies of Ben Casey MD game in their collection, so I can't pick that. So what am I going to do other than do what I always do, which is pick an obscure game that no one's ever heard of and is impossible to find. So my pick this week is The Deadland, a game in which you're playing a card or two to try to stay in the middle of this bridge where there is zombies on one side, and then there is a Cthulhu monster on the other side, and then there's also pirates below shooting at the bridge. And if you can be the last one standing, well, then the helicopter's going to pick you up and fly you to safety. All right. Happy Friday, everybody.
Hi, it's Mike here with the game that I like to use to bring new people into the hobby, basically as a first teach. And for me, the game's Dixit. And the reason being, Dixit is the game that brought me into the hobby. I think we saw it on Will Wheaton's tabletop. The great thing about it is it's a game that you can play one round and then you know how to play. It's got this wonderfully evocative, engaging art, and I've been using it for years as an English teacher in the classroom, both to teach visual symbolism and lateral thinking, but also just as a fun time for my students who love the game. You should see the copy I've got at work. It is worn beyond recognition. It's been loved over a decade, and there's nothing more satisfying than year after year of teaching younger siblings of former students who've told me that their brother or sister has had Dixit for a Christmas present because they played it in my classroom and it's introduced them to the hobby. Dixit, it's a brilliant gateway game.
For me, I'm going to say a super simple one because it's super easy and it's super accessible, and that is Love Letter. Love Letter is this super quick game that you can play with a variety of groups of people, and it's just so simple and easy to get to the table, and I love the little deduction of trying to figure out which cards are people's hands. I know they've rethemed this to death, but it's cool because you can find a theme that fits with the people you're trying to play it with. Love Letter.
Hey everybody, it's Ness. For me, a good gateway game does 3 things. It differentiates itself from old games like Monopoly, maybe by using new mechanisms like worker placement. It doesn't just feel like a video game with extra steps. And it has some kind of tactile element, like whether it's dice or meeples or minis, just something you can move around in the real world. My gateway game was Terra Mystica, and I realize it's maybe a little complex and obtuse for a lot of people who are just starting board games, but for me it hit all three of those, and it showed me what modern board gaming is all about. I like to tailor the gateway games that I show my friends and my family to themes I think they would like, whether it's cats or fantasy, but a general theme really works for most people, I think. Something like Picture Perfect, or even On the Rocks. I hope everyone has a great Friday, and as always, you can find me on the channel as Sugi Moogie in the comments. Bye!
Hey, Favorite Game Friday. It's Chris and Angie from the Chasing Meeples podcast, and we're here to talk about games that we like to teach people their first time playing a hobby board game. Angie, why don't you kick us off?
I like to teach a game like Pandemic Hot Zone North America. It's a co-op game, so it's not as intimidating because everybody's going to win or lose together. And it's not as daunting as its big brother because you only have to cure 3 diseases instead of 4.
It's a good one. And I really enjoy teaching Lords of Waterdeep. So it's really cool when you see somebody worker placement. What is this? And then you explain the game and they get around to playing it. And when their eyes light up, when they realize that's what I do. And this is pretty cool. So always a good game. It's one of my go-tos. So that's it. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Happy Friday, everyone. Clay here with Beer City Board Games. This week we are talking about our favorite games to teach to new gamers. There are a lot of great options out there, and we still love breaking them out even in our more seasoned game groups. But my favorite game to teach to people who are new to gaming is Kabuto Sumo. This is a really fun dexterity game where players are playing as bugs trying to knock each other off of a stump. You're going to do this by pushing wooden discs onto the stump. What makes this game great for teaching to new gamers is that you can play with very basic rules at the beginning, but you can add characters with special powers and special pieces as you progress, as they kind of get the hang of things. It's a really fun game that usually gets played multiple times in a row, so that's my favorite game to teach to new gamers, Kabuto Sumo.
Hi, I'm Josh from the YouTube channel Josh Yaks, and if I'm with some people who want to step beyond the usual party game fare and play an actual board game for the very first time, I'm going to bring out Freedom and Freeze's Fast Flowing Forest Fellers. This is a race game where each player controls 2 to 3 lumberjacks who are trying to get through the river course and be the first to cross the finish line with their lumberjacks. It is a very simple game to learn. All a player does on their turn is pick a card from hand to play, move the corresponding lumberjack, the number of spaces shown on the card, then draw a new card and add it to their hand. There are a few interesting little tactical considerations. You can push opponents into these river currents that might move them backwards on the course. You could perhaps push one of your own lumberjacks into a current that boosts them forwards. You can create little bottlenecks in the river course. And so there are some light tactical considerations, and yet a new player still has a good chance of winning the game. It's a lot of fun and great for new players or young players. Cheers.
When I want to teach people about the brand new day of modern board games and cooperative games in particular, I bring out Forbidden Island with its beautiful aesthetics, with all the great little pieces inside it, with the little pretty little toy factor that the game has. This is really a fantastic way to introduce people to the world of cooperative games. That is Forbidden Island.
Friday, everyone. This is Jill, and these are 3 of my favorite games to teach to people new to gaming. The first is going to be Draftosaurus with these incredibly adorable dinosaur meeples. And the game itself is relatively easy to learn. We also love to teach Forbidden Island, which is a great co-op game with relatively simple rules that will really show people how amazing co-op can be. And the last is my just evergreen favorite, Take 5, which always is just so much fun. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Hi, I'm the mini painting noob, and the game I like to introduce to new players to the hobby is Citadels. This is a very social game in our household, lots of laughing, sometimes some crying if someone's accidentally picked on, but that doesn't happen too often. This game is for 2 to 8 players. We tend to play 4 to 7 people, and the aim of the game is to construct 7 provinces, and you get victory points at the end of the game based on the cost and sometimes types. And there's also some other bonus cards that you could build that may give you some other abilities. In this game, you are drafting from a pool of characters, and they'll give you some special ability, like the merchant, that you earn coins from any other buildings of her type. So this is the game that I like to play with new players, Citadels. It's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, sometimes some tears, but not too often. Bye.
It's always awesome to think about which games introduce people to the hobby. It was so awesome when we came into the hobby ourselves, so it's cool to see how different games will work for different people when introducing them to board games for the first time. Make sure to leave in the comments down below what game you go to teach people board games for the first time. And make sure to check out our contributors from all around the world and all around the internet who are here on Favorite Game Friday. If you'd like to be a part of Favorite Game Friday, make sure to do a super short video and put it in the Google Drive link down below. Next week, we're going to talk all about what games you are anticipating the most coming up this year. Cons are coming up, UKG is going on right now, then we're having Origins coming up, Dice Tower East is coming up, and then Gen Con's coming up. All these games are being announced, all these games are being shown off at all these different conventions. What game are you anticipating playing? Make sure to make a short video of the anticipated game you're excited about, and we'll see you on the next week's Favorite Game Friday.